I'll never forget. I was like on that boat. I was like, how do you do this? Like, what's going on down here? I never even I remember being on the water. He's like, yeah, the guy who owns Nantucket Nectars, his house is over there. This guy, Otis Elevator guy. And then just that moment, I was like, how do you do this?
Anthony Riccioli, thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
This is a brand new podcast, and you were the number one requested guest. And we just started. So thank you for doing it, buddy. I appreciate it.
Glad to be here.
Awesome. And anybody listening that doesn't know who you are, quick summary of yourself.
I am... Hold on. That's the most hated. Actually, you can roll it, but I hate when people ask me that question. Anthony Riccioli. I am happily married with 2 kids, Gino and Louie, 8 and 9, 9 and 8. And I run a 4th generation family-owned concrete contracting company. And yeah,
awesome. 4 generations.
4 generations.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of knew that, but when you say it out loud, it's like it really was 4 generations.
I mean, our families go back.
I know. I remember this thing you showed me in the church of
four generations. Yeah. My great grandfather worked with, I guess, your great grandfather.
My great grandfather. Yeah.
Yeah. So
we knew each other before we ever knew each other.
Well, yeah, and didn't you? How long did you go? I went to Holy Savior too. That's a big part of my life.
Well, yeah.
You went to Holy Savior for a few years.
I did up until 2nd grade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I feel like 2nd and 3rd grade is when a lot of people left.
you can either fit into the Catholic school thing or you can't.
It's like, okay, time to go.
Yeah.
He doesn't know 2 times 3.
It's true, man. So speaking of that, so you grew up in Norristown, right? Norristown, Pennsylvania here. Grade school, Holy Savior, which was a Catholic school. So you were raised Catholic.
Yep.
Give us a quick, when you were a kid, your family, your dad, your mom, what did you have? Who were you surrounded with as a kid growing up?
We were pretty close, family. We weren't that, everyone thinks, the Sunday dinners, traditional. I mean, we did that stuff. We weren't, we're 3rd generation Italian. My one grandmother lived in Pottstown, and my grandfather passed away, before when my mom was 19. So, we would go up there, maybe, one Sunday a month. My grandma Riccioli, we would go see her, but we didn't do, the traditional things that everyone did all the time. We were with our cousins. We went and seen our family. But, we spent a lot of time together. My dad worked a lot. He actually missed my first birthday because he had to dig a job. My mom let him hear that till the day he passed. Yeah, I mean, I made a lot of really great friends at Holy Savior, and I'm still friends with pretty much everyone I went to kindergarten with.
That's really cool. I mean, that's really cool. It's unique. It's not something that a lot of people can say.
And that was not that my family wasn't my family, but I was with them all the time because, you're in the same classroom with someone, and you're literally in the same classroom with someone for 9 years, from kindergarten to the 8th grade. And you go to, then I went to Kennedy Kenrick. So I just, played sports, the normal stuff.
What sports you play
Basketball, baseball, football. Now, anyone that knows me is probably laughing hey, because I wasn't really that good at sports.
But you showed up.
But I did. I thought I was good. I don't know why, I didn't make the 8th grade basketball team. That was actually a pretty big disappointment in my life. But no, I had fun. Football, I played football in high school. I didn't play any other sports.
Okay. All right. And your sister is older, younger?
No, younger.
She's younger. How much younger is she?
4 years. She's 1980. I always the older you get, you gotta keep reverting back to the year you were born. So she was 1987. I'm 1983.
Okay.
So, but yeah, me and my sister are close.
And that's your only sibling, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
She actually just got married the other day.
Yeah, congratulations.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
Very great brother-in-law, and she has 2 beautiful boys too. So
that's really, really important to the brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Stalker for the next 50 years or something like that. So that's good. So yeah, did your mom work in it when you were
Yeah,
a
my mom
kid?
actually. Yeah, my mom when when I was born, my mom would actually like do some like temp work at night. She worked at the county for like 10 or 12 years. Actually, yeah, no, she worked at the county for like 10 or 12 years. Stopped, and then she started actually cleaning houses. She kind of started her own thing. Had like 10 or 12 houses she would clean, and Steve's mom actually helped her. Well, and uh, she had a couple ladies helping her. So yeah, my mom always worked, always did, so always was doing something. My mom never. I don't think my mom ever sleeps maybe like 2 hours a day.
She's
She don't stop
energy. She
like
goes.
ever. Like
I think it's a commonality in a
yeah,
lot of Italian moms.
yeah. I mean, I don't. She never sits down. But
Yeah.
my dad, my dad worked a lot. But when my dad came home, like he didn't do much. He ate and he liked to sit on the couch, which is good. Like we had a routine, you know.
Yeah.
My mom would cook dinner every single night. We
Okay.
eat dinner as a family every night. My dad would never clean anything up, and then we would always clean everything up. He would go right to the couch. But yeah. So we were together all the time
This
every
is
night.
super traditional, is what you're describing though. Like this is like that's kind of traditional,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So a tight family. Um, Dad worked a lot. Your mom worked. So just talking about, you grew up Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we come from the same town, and you're a little older than me, so your group of people are maybe a little bit different, but we also know a lot of the same people.
Yeah.
You know, describe a little bit of what it was like growing up, going to Catholic school in a town that we grew up in Norristown.
So I didn't. I mean, everyone was pretty much like you. Like everyone's parents were kind of like your parents. Either they were cousins with them or went to school with them,
Mm-hmm.
or I mean, one of my best friends, my grandfather was in his grandparents' wedding. So like, you already had a bunch of relationships before you met everyone. So
Right.
like it was just like everyone felt normal with each other.
So going through school, you at what point did you decide? So your dad, concrete business, right?
Hmm.
I'm assuming you worked with your dad. I mean, I've seen photos of you as a kid.
Yeah.
You know,
I would always love to go on jobs with my dad. Um, Now I would always go on jobs, and my dad would he'd be like pretty busy on the job, like
right, right.
kind of like not really pay attention.
Yeah, yeah.
My grandfather, he would. I remember like vividly like learning how to wash tools and gauge raking stone, setting forms. Like I mean, I remember this stuff probably 5, 6 years old. Like
Hmm.
driving around with my grandpa, and my uncle was there. My uncle would teach me stuff. My dad would, but he was always in the like. My dad was always like in the zone at work. Um, so I wanted to go to work with my dad like right away.
Was it because you were interested in what he was doing, or just to hang out with your dad? What do you
Um,
think it was?
I honestly I always wanted to make my own money, and I felt like I wanted to be like a man and like just work. Like everyone around me worked.
Mm.
I couldn't wait to go to
Yeah,
work.
that was me, man.
I
Same
could
deal.
not wait to go to work.
Same, man. Yeah.
I remember being like 10 or 11, and one of my dad's good friends, who I still talk to every day, John Baldessari, he was at my house, and I was like, when, like, they had just got a load of mulch dumped.
Yeah.
And I was like, when can I come to work? Like, I started, like, he's like, showing me what to do with the mulch. So at like 12 years old, I went to work with him because the stuff my dad was doing. My dad was in the backhoe a lot, and like he was working like for the school district. So like you can't really have like a 12-year-old on the job. But John, man, I worked with John probably 3 summers
Okay.
before I worked with my dad, and then I worked with my dad. I think I had just maybe like 16. That's
Okay.
when I started working
When you
with my
start,
dad.
you weren't until like consistently, like as far as like what, like after school or like weekends and stuff. You
Oh,
go,
just summer,
yeah. Okay. So
summers.
summers.
Yeah,
All right.
summers. I worked every summer from like 12. Like, I would only work like 2, 3 days a week. Your mom's like, why don't you go? I'm like, I want to go to work.
Yeah.
And it honestly, like, my friends were the same way, and we all all wanted to go to work. A lot of people's parents had their own, and that was the other thing. I'd say about maybe 80% of the class, everyone's parents
It's true, man.
was in their own business.
Yeah, a lot of entrepreneurs, like
Yeah.
locally, mom and pop shops, small
Yep.
businesses. Yeah,
Everyone had like their own thing going.
that's because like Italians can't take people telling.
Well,
them what
that's
to do.
exactly. I was just gonna say.
They
Wasn't so
we're gonna
much the
just we're gonna do it
entrepreneur-
on our own because
I think it was. I'm not listening to that
Yeah.
guy mentality.
yeah.
But yeah. So like went to work, and then when I started working for my dad, I mean, I really like all I wanted to do was learn how to finish concrete, and the second that happened, I mean, like I just loved it. I mean,
Yeah.
loved finishing concrete, and I was like, I'm gonna go to, I'm still gonna go to school.
Well, I was gonna actually talk about college next, so, like, because you're talking about
Yeah,
your business or working for your dad's business, and then like, at what point you decide like I want to go to school and why? Like, what was it? Was it pressure, or was it like
No.
there's something else out
no,
there?
it wasn't pressure. It was like when I was in like ninth grade, the same guy I was telling you about, John Baldessari, his brother was a finance guy, and then like would manage people's money.
Okay.
Right. So he taught me at like that, like when I was like in ninth grade, about stocks, and I was like I loved stocks. Like I thought, I was like, all right, I want to do something in the finance world. I don't want to manage people's money, but I want to do something with stocks. And so I decided, I wanted to go to Drexel, and I got in Drexel, and I did the 5-year co-op program. Yeah, so that doesn't start till your sophomore year. So
Yeah, so you had to be pretty good in school. So you got into Drexel. Drexel's not the easiest school to get into.
yeah.
So you had to have pretty decent grades in school, right? You were a
Yeah, I did.
decent
I mean,
student.
I did well in school. I really didn't do good on my SATs. That cost me like $12,500 a year by 10 points. AJ Drexel scholarship was $12,500 a year. If I would have got a 1,200, I would have gotten it. But the other kids who failed out, they got it and then lost it. So
There you go.
but yeah, so I went to Drexel sophomore year, started going on interviews for my first co-op. So I get this, I'm all excited. I got like 3 interviews, right? So the one interview's in Horsham. It's at a finance place. So I go to the interview and I come back to my I was living in an apartment on with like 3 other guys. My other roommate from he from the Trenton area, Italian just like me. So I come in the room after the interview, and I have a black mock turtleneck on, a pinky ring, and my gold chain hanging out. He goes, "Oh, I thought you had an interview." I was like, "Yeah, I did." He goes, "Yeah, you ain't getting the job." So, I was a little like same thing back to like Holy Shit. I thought like, yeah, I'm dressed up nice. Yeah, I didn't get that job.
You didn't get the job.
So
On account of what you were wearing.
yeah, but and it's funny. I know it's like the 3rd time I'm bringing this guy up, but John actually knew
Is John like a mentor? You think?
Yeah.
Like a mentor
Yeah, right?
for you, right? Because
Yeah.
that's what he is.
Man, now that I'm thinking about it, this guy's pretty
Yeah.
typical. Nah, but he got me. He knew this guy who was pretty high up at Aramark, and Aramark had just got in the account at Penn for all the food services.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, "Look," I went to his office on I guess it was like 11th and Market, right? I was like, "I'm gonna put you down at Penn." He's like, "You're gonna be junior marketing manager." I was like, yeah, okay. Right. It's not finance, but it's my first co-op. I can still live. I mean, the job was on 40th and, Walnut,
Okay.
and I was living at 34th and Market. I still took the subway. I didn't walk. little lazy those days. But, so I had the fall winter co-op.
Okay.
So I go, I remember going to like J.C. Penney's with my mom and buying like work clothes. Like
You went clothes shopping with your mom when you were in college.
Yeah, I did. Right. So I was like, I didn't know what to buy. You know, I was buying like these baggy
Business
khakis.
casual, Anthony.
Yeah, I never did. Business casual was a pair of
Yeah.
jeans and a nice clean pair of boots. So like same thing, like back to that. No clue even where to start. So anyway, I get what I think looks nice, and start working there. You know, going to all these meetings.
Did you
And
tuck your gold chain in?
I did. I tucked
All
the
right.
gold chain
You
in.
learned your lesson.
Yeah. One thing, like, so since I was working there, I had to do surveys. Like, basically, what I had to do was I had to make a map of Penn's campus, put like all the food places like on a map, like kind of like explain what each of them is, like, you know. And then I also had to do like a traffic study, like, and like count how many people walk past like a certain location, because they were thinking about like maybe like, you know, putting like a quick market there, like something where the Penn kids can grab. I also had to do surveys to the Penn kids and ask them questions. That was the worst thing ever. Like, excuse me. They treated me like I was like some like dirt bag. You know what I mean? Like, get out of here. I'm not talking to you. Even though I have my nice, you know, Hugo Boss button up or whatever.
Back from JC Penn.
But anyway, I did that. You know, I'm doing the thing. I'm trying to put together, like, they were like, I'll put together some meal plans, like different packages that we can offer the kids. And anyway, I'm doing all this work, and I'm like, the whole time I'm like, is anyone else doing any work in the office? Everyone's always like going out, like, I'll be right back. Gotta get a coffee, get a bagel, have a meeting, and they would create deadlines, and like, then when the deadline will come, like, it's nobody.
It didn't matter.
done.
There's no reason. It's not even a
And they're
deadline.
like, we'll get it next month. I was like, how about
So
just
you didn't like the makeup of this is what
No.
what I'm gathering,
Yeah.
right? This starts to
this is where I like, and at the time, yeah, this is where I was just like, oh man, maybe working in an office isn't for me. So I'm like out there, like watching, like, I'm like looking out the window, watching the guys like mulch all the flower beds, like, wish I was with those guys,
Yeah.
you know? So I've read, this is what kind of changed me. I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I'll never forget. I read that book. I called my dad. I'm like, I'm coming to work with you. I'm done with this shit. I ain't making anybody else money. I was like, I love concrete. You know, we got 100 phone calls. We would go to my grandmom's house, and that's where our answer machine was. We would have, you know, 20 messages a night, easy. So, and that always was in the back of my head. I'm like, I'm gonna answer all those messages. We're gonna get all this work.
okay.
So that was the turning point where I was like, I'm gonna focus on, you know, getting through school. No, like, I love school. Graduated top 10% of my class.
My man.
And then I just went like pretty much like right to work after that.
Right. So it's it's a book a lot of people have read. I read that book. It's a great book, and you hear that a lot. Like, oh, I read Rich Dad, and that just changed everything. And it is a book that could do that to you.
Yeah.
So like, aside from the structure of going to college, what would you say your greatest benefit though? Because like, you could have just skipped college.
yeah.
I could have just could, like, your dad had a business going, so you could have just went right into that. But you like, let me try this school thing.
If I didn't go to Drexel, I don't think I would be where I'm at.
See, that's important. Like,
And college is training to weed out the weak for the workforce. That's really all it is. I mean, you know, the harder the training, the you know, the better the outcome is.
like anything else, right?
So, you know, the training's one thing, but it's also going back to Holy Savior, going back to Norristown. Like, it's meeting people and working with people that aren't like you.
Right.
And, you know, understanding that there's a whole nother world out there. I remember going, a buddy of mine, he's a good friend of mine still. It's a roofing contractor. I remember I never went to Florida ever. I went to like Dutch Wonderland and Ocean City. Like, that was it. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't go anywhere. And everyone was on a plane.
Yeah.
So he drove to Florida, and he had like this yacht that we stayed on. Like this, it was like they call it a yacht, but because it had like, you know, you can sleep in it. And I'll never forget. I was like on that boat. I was like, how do you do this? Like, what's going on down here? I never even like. remember like being on the water. He's like, yeah, the guy who owns Nantucket Nectars, his house is over there. This guy, Otis Elevator guy. And then just that moment, I was like, how do you do this?
Hmm.
And then like, it wasn't that like, my family's business wasn't successful or my dad. It was just like everyone kind of just was like in their own moment in Norristown and didn't really like, they were just grinding it out. So it was like being around guys like that. I found like it's funny, like everyone like ends up like gravitating towards each other. Like you're still around like-minded people and like Italian people like
Right.
yourself, but you're also hanging out with everyone else, kids from other countries. And like it was I mean, I met my wife there.
Yeah.
So it was
That alone, right? So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, even if it was for that, right?
Yeah, that's all she got out of it was me, because she didn't even go to class. But but no, so it was great. I mean, I really want, I mean, whatever my kids want to do, they
Yeah.
can do. But like, I really
I just think
would recommend
I-
anyone to just go away from what your safe place. I don't even want to say safe
like
place.
trying
just like,
something.
Just try something
I know what
out.
you're saying. I asked the question because right now there is a lot of that. Like, I didn't go to college. Like, I struggled not like with the decision not to go to school. Like, it was hard because at the time, that was like, you're not going to school. Like, my mom, like, that wasn't like, what do you mean you're not going to go to school?
Yeah.
Because and plus I was like, I thought I knew everybody I needed to know. Who else do I gotta meet?
Well,
But the point I'm making is though, like, I think you got to know yourself. Like, you obviously had an entrepreneur spirit even before you went to school. So like that, you already established that.
Yeah.
But like going to school, you built relationships and you got to see different things that
Yeah.
helped inspire you and kind of like plan out
Definitely.
like what I want. So it's important to know, because I am, people think because I didn't go to college, I'm not an advocate. That's not true at all. I feel like just know what you're in it for.
yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing. It's not for, yeah, you got to go. It's not definitely,
Because if
not for everyone.
no,
And if you're not like into
yeah,
like it, then
Yeah.
don't waste your time and money.
right,
Go learn something else.
yeah,
Like I was into meeting people and like learning new things and like, going to like different like clubs and like, I mean, I was in like a Drexel investment group club and like just like things like that. And
Yeah.
I mean, I joined a fraternity, which
okay,
people probably have no clue that I was in a fraternity.
no,
But I really got to meet, I mean, every single guy in that fraternity. I'd say 99% of them is very successful. And in the work world and life. I mean, I feel like you just meet great people, learn a bunch of new things. And yeah, if you're not in it for that, then don't bother.
don't bother.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I agree. And the other part of it is you have to know yourself. Like, I consider myself a hard worker. So like, I knew like I wasn't worried about survive. Like I was like, I'll make it happen. I wasn't worried about that. What you have to watch out for is if you can tend to be lazy to your, like said, left to your own devices. Like, some people need to be pushed. And
Yeah,
like, be
yep.
careful of like not forcing yourself into some structure, because you got to know yourself and be honest with yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because sometimes college could also be the kick in the ass like you need.
Yep. Yeah. I remember seeing you when you were 18. You were doing houses with your dad.
Yeah. Yep.
You always had like spackle all over you.
Stuck on my eye.
I was like, hey, my head.
Yeah. Well, that's how we knew each other, not like we know now, but like, we're from the same town,
Yep.
small town, everybody knew each other. And you graduated, my cousin Mark. And so we knew each other. But it is kind of funny how we really got to know each other is I went to hire to do a job for me.
Yeah.
And I tend to talk people into doing things they don't know they could yet do.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
We had a nice project, right? Couple houses we were going to build, and I needed someone. I was doing only city development, and I needed a site guy. I'm like, shit,
You were like Willy Wonka.
I
You're like
find a
floating
site
down from the sky. Hey, look at this land I just bought. I'm like, oh. I was like, this looks great. Should we tell them the story?
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, your cousin, who I worked with all the time, was like, you gotta call Mikey. He's got something. He's building 8,000 houses down the city. He wants to come up here. So I'm like, all right, I'll meet him. We're a little busy, but I'll meet him.
What fraternity was he in?
Yeah. So, I call you up. We're like, hey, and we go meet out on the Henry
Yeah.
Lane.
Henry Lane.
Henry
Yep.
Lane. So you're standing there. You got the plans. You're like, I want to build 3 houses right here. Showing me all the stuff. I'm like, well, it was a little bit bigger than what I've never done. I mean, I've done one-off houses.
Yeah.
But like, raw. How many acres was it? 3?
That was 3
3?
acres. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was 3-acre lot. Yeah. Subdivided into 3 separate parcels.
So, I was like, did you get any other prices? You're like, I got some, but Eddie said you're good, and so I was like, it's a little out of my league. And then you started like showing me the plans. And you're like, just take a look.
You could do it.
You could probably do this. I'm like, I probably can. Let me see.
Yeah, I could do this.
So, I was like all excited that like, you were excited about the project. And once that happens, like once like I get excited with somebody, like I want to do it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, we'll do it. And it was like, I think it was like June, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It was June.
It was. Yeah.
You're like, by the way, all 3 houses are sold and they're going to settlement in November. I'm like, what?
Is that even possible?
They're sold. I'm like, there's grass here. You're like, well, they're pretty much going to be, yeah, we have to get this done. And then me, you, Nick, cousin Joe,
Yeah.
we just grind
We
it.
got it done, right?
I don't even know.
We all learned so much on that.
That was actually, that put my mindset into a whole nother like category. Like it really like gave me like some big confidence, and kind of like I pushed my guys in a good way where we all felt like we were like part of like something. They never did it before. They were all our guys, they want to work, they want to do like, they want to be a part of something cool.
Yeah.
Like, and to like go from literally a field
that's what it was.
to creating a whole subdivision, tying a sewer main into a state road.
Yeah.
All in.
And if we didn't do it soon, the permit was going to expire. It was going to cost me another 6 months.
I mean, we had it done by Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we did. We got it done. It was rain. We were there. I mean, everything.
Remember the sewer lines and the rain?
Yeah.
And Jamie, right? So those, like, I look back, like, if something gets tough, I honestly, like, look back. I'm like, I did that. I'll be all right.
Yeah.
And that's, like putting yourself through hell,
Yeah.
like, really helps out later, like, because things that you thought were a big deal aren't, because you already did them.
No, it was a, you took it right. First of all, you had the right attitude, right? Like, and you obviously, like, I can do this, I could do this, I could do this. I guess I just got to do it all at the same time. You know what I mean? And that's what it was. And like, I would have never asked you to do it if I didn't think you could do it. Plus, I didn't have anybody else.
That's why you did it.
So I
gave the prince to 3 other guys.
I remember I met you down there. It was like a Saturday or Sunday morning. You had your like white T-shirt on, V-neck. Walking through the field, the grass was like 4 feet high. You just got a bagel down the street. You're like, they got the best bagels down here. And we were like staking out the lot lines.
Yeah.
Like, maybe we should call an engineer. And I was like, nah, it looks good. We got that.
We literally didn't get any. Like, we got one survey.
Staking.
It was the
we had
one
a plan and stakes and some spray paint.
Yeah.
But it was a great learning lesson. I guess the point of the story even is being willing to try things that scare you a little bit. Like, you don't have to understand how it's all going to work out.
No.
And we both learned. I mean, honestly, I think everybody on that project learned some stuff.
Oh,
right?
everyone did.
Yeah. It was like high, fast paced.
My guys weren't used to that new construction. I mean, you came from that down the city.
Yeah, right.
So, I thought you were nuts. But then you had some new construction contractors there, and I was like, oh, well, this is how you have to get it done to,
Right.
this is what it is.
Yeah.
So, the fact that my guys like saw that too, and that I saw that, like, it kind of like, all right, well, we can handle this. We can do it. we just weren't typically used to doing it, and
No.
it was great. It was a great experience.
You guys were like stripping the lot. You're like, hey, Mike, there's a lumber truck here. That's not for here, is it? I was like, yeah. As we were start framing, he's like, wait, where are we going to put all the lumber?
We're
I was
gonna
like,
put all the dirt, the dirt.
we
Oh
should have
my
hauled it out of
god!
there. We walked. It was like a.
So yeah, we just
it was
put
a
it on-
volcano, a
There's
mound.
a house going right there.
Yeah, but you know what, man? Again, it was a good experience for both of us, and honestly, that's where we started really like building a friendship and relationship. You know what I mean? We were trusting each other, relying on each other,
Yeah.
and got to see how. And you know what? Shit got really hard, and I say this all the time. How you know who's got your back is when shit's hard, and they were there, and you were there. I had deadlines, I had obligations, and you did not let me down ever. And that's you don't let anybody down really, and if you ever do, it's definitely never your intention.
No.
You always want to just you want to help everybody win.
That's kind of the hardest part about being in business,
Right.
is people have an expectation of yourself.
Right.
So it's not a matter of like you just want to be that guy because that's the guy who, that's why they called you.
Yeah.
Somebody said to me today, did work for this company for like 12 years, and I haven't done work for him in like probably like a year and a half, 2 years. We always do like really hard stuff for him. So he called me up and he's like, we called you because you're the only guy that can do this job. And I was like moments like that like make you like all right, I know it's like silly or whatever, like there's like, but it's like, if you're going to do something and you're going to be involved in something, like that's to be the guy is like that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
You want to be the guy to call that takes care of
Absolutely.
what you're supposed to take care of.
Yeah.
So but that's you gotta do that every day. It's not like
Yeah.
sometimes.
It's like
all the time.
Like doctors have to do surgery. They're
Yeah,
surgeons, right?
yeah.
Right. They got headaches. They don't feel good, right? And I'm definitely not comparing us to doctors.
No,
but
no,
the
not-
point is, it's like you do got to be on because everyone's relying on you to be on.
Yep.
And some days you don't feel like it, or you're tired, or whatever it is, but they called you because they can count on you, and you're like, I can't let them down.
Yep. And that's what it is. That's a daily thing.
Yeah.
And no, it's good. I'm fortunate enough that I'm even in the position to be able to be that guy. So
Yeah, it's good. I mean, like, so just to back up a little bit, because there's definitely some more I want to talk to you about your business, but like to back up a little bit, when you went out, you graduated college, you started working for your dad. What did you start doing? Like when you went to work with your dad, what was your role?
Man, that was a tough. I didn't want to listen. So my dad, I guess my dad thought like he. The best part about my dad is he wanted me to like my dad was one of those guys like, don't do that, don't do this. Like he wanted me to like do things, try them out. Like he didn't want me doing all the labor work.
Okay.
And he didn't want me finishing all the concrete. He wanted me to like take a step back.
Why do you think that is?
I mean, I guess because he realized like, not that like I'm not putting anyone down that does it, but like, he's like, that's not what you. Like you're here to manage this and run this. You're not here to like, finish those blocks of sidewalk because that's not going to. I think he saw like I didn't see it. I think he saw like we need to get to the next day and have work. We need to get to the next step. We need to take a step back and like we can he'll finish the concrete. This guy will finish the concrete. Like we need work. We need to keep work. We need to get good work. So I wanted to work. Like I wanted to like run the jackhammer, sweep up. He's like, that's not, I don't, and it was a lot for me. Took a lot for me, like not to do that because I was like, I felt like I wasn't going to get like respect from
all the guys and stuff.
And like, I'm working with my cousins were working there, and it was like I felt like I don't know, I couldn't. It was hard for me to do.
Okay.
So I just pretty much did both. I would just work just work all the time. That other stuff, like looking at jobs, like I kind of went and looked at jobs pretty much like 3-4 nights a week because all we did at the time was like all residential, patios, sidewalks, stuff like that. So yeah, I started looking at work with my dad, and then like eventually like he didn't want to look at work anymore.
So you totally kind of took over the fact of like the basis was that, hey, like you bring in the work, you manage expectations, and we're gonna like get this done. Like
Yeah.
that was his plan, kind of.
And honestly, like when I'll tell you, when I came to work with my dad, it was my dad and one guy, and then my uncle was in. We had a job for like 13 years. Every day, my uncle would be up there with a backhoe and a dump truck. So that kind of like that got like knocked off, like like the week after I got out of school, and then um, we also would have like a ton of work at Norristown School District for the summer. We would always have like some sidewalks to do, and my dad would do like digging work. Well, that summer there wasn't any. So like I came into the business with like things were very, very weird. Like my
Okay.
uncle was like pretty much working down there with us for the first time in like 13 years, working with my dad. And then his son came and worked, and my dad was just like it was a lot for him. Like it was like he was just used to doing his thing every day, like not like he was just managing one guy, and that's what he did. I mean, he made a good living. He wasn't into managing like multiple things.
Yeah,
So I
like
think that was like it was like probably good timing for me to get out to like learn how to
that's what
do
it
that.
sounds like. It sounded like this worked out kind of perfect.
Yeah,
And your dad knew he needed this.
I feel like he did. He never like put that on me, you know. Like I just understood and like did it, and like he was just never left my side ever. Like we
Yeah,
were just together. Like I mean, I lived it. I
yeah,
still don't
yeah.
understand how you when you graduated, everyone lived with their parents.
Right back home.
Why didn't I get an apartment? But I mean, I liked it. Uh, so
Good
yeah, I
mom's
mean,
doing your laundry
yeah.
and all that other stuff. That's fine.
So we started doing what like whatever, like not whatever, like concrete. Where we're just doing like any job that was coming our way, we were getting like doing, knocking it out. Like it was great working with my uncle, my cousins, and this and that. But like there's a lot of people to like pay and keep
Yeah,
happy, and
yeah.
so like I was like I gotta do like more work and bigger jobs. So I met this guy who had like tons of work, tons of work. He comes to me and he's like, I don't know how he got our number. He's like, can you guys do this? It was like a couple 100 feet of side, or like maybe 800 foot of sidewalk at a park. So I was like, yeah, we'll do it. And we did that, and he kept throwing like little bit like intricate stuff at us, and then like I remember he showed up. He's like, I got a Continental Bank to do, all the foundations and all the piers, and he's like, you want to do it? I'm like, I never did that before. So he's like, I'll help you. So he
Is the
like
developer in it? Is it?
no, it was Jimmy McCarthy. It was McCarthy Masonry.
Okay,
He had
okay.
tons
Oh,
of
so like
tons of tons,
a bigger
bigger
contract.
bigger
I got you.
contractor.
Okay.
Just took on a ton of work. So we started doing that work, and I liked it because like I like the prints. I like to like, but we were green to that world.
Mm-hmm.
Like we really were. Like we never had hard hats or anything. No safety
We're hard
stuff.
heads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was very, very like that was pivotal, and like, okay, I'm gonna maybe start doing this. Then I met another guy who he had his own work, a GC, and they asked us to bid like 4 jobs, and I never got any of them. And there was one that like came up where the guy's like, I want you to do this. So he's like, give us a good number. We want you to get some work with us. And I did it, and it was like we had to put like a vault, like a homemade vault underneath of a sidewalk. This big long stretch of sidewalk, like cutting like holes in the floor. It was in Norristown too. It was at the Theater Horizon there. And after that, man, this guy just started giving me work and work and work. And then, I guess like a couple other people found out that we were capable of it, and they knew our reputation in the residential. They're like, oh, you guys are doing some commercial work, and we start doing both. And the residential thing, you have to have like a whole like back office to like deal with customers. Like I was
Yeah.
trying to do all that, and then that's kind of how we just progressed into just where we're at now. Like it's just
Which is like
necessity.
primarily- well, like is but like you do a lot of commercial even then.
Yeah,
Like,
we
that's
do.
a
Well, yeah,
lot, that's a
we
lot.
do. No, we're all commercial now.
Right. So it's like, back in the day, you were doing a lot of residential, maybe some commercial, but like you shifted, you saw an opportunity
Yeah.
at commercial and you realized that I think this might be the path.
It was always like, and this was where I was lucky. My dad always, he never sheltered me from failing. I never thought I mean, I'll be honest with you, like, I just wasn't the type, like, I wasn't taking like failure for an option.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't, like, I took on this job. It was like 260 foot of gutter curb. I never poured a gutter curb in my life. We made up all these jigs and tried to like before we did the job, like, yeah, we're gonna do it like this and do it like that. And we got on the job and like it just changed. Like, we just changed up how we were doing it, and we got the job done. And then we also got a ton of work because I was for a property management company. So we started getting a ton of work just off of that one job.
Yeah.
The guy was like, you were like 50% less than the next guy. So it was and I keep saying like, man, like, but like it was like, we have the same guys that we had that day.
Right. Right.
And these guys are just, you can't do it without good men.
You need a good,
You
you
can't
need a
do it
good
without good
team.
men.
Like, especially you guys, you wanted to scale the business. It was your dad wanting to scale?
No,
Or is he like, I just want to know that we got work the next day. We keep
Yeah.
gonna do what we're gonna do. I love the life I have.
exactly.
Like, as
Well,
long as I
that
can-
was, and now that I'm in my 40s, I see
you start to
exactly.
see what he was
I see
saying.
exactly what he was so smart that he knew like what life was about. He cut out, my great grandfather had like 70 guys working for him. You know what I mean? Like they had like they did all that. They built houses. They did that. So like my grandfather, like they've really like kind of scaled down from that. And like, how like once you like the ins and outs of everything, right? Like my grandfather already knew those. So like he kind of took that fire away from my dad, where if my dad wanted to do something, like he would be like, nah, don't bother, don't bother. So my dad did the complete opposite.
Yeah, that's
with
what I was
men.
gonna say. It's opposite of what you were talking
So
about.
it kind of like, it was like, it kind of like just came all back around. And like, I think just me being there like was enough. Like, my dad didn't give a shit if we made money or not, me being there was enough, for him to just be happy for the rest of his life.
Which I think it's important to note that that's okay.
Yeah, no, it's
Like,
everything.
Like, everyone thinks
everything.
I
That's
gotta
it.
grow. I got
Nah, that's it.
Like,
No,
there's
it's
a lot
not.
of people that grow, and I even think you can attest this. And I know I can too. Sometimes you got so much stuff going on, your quality of life just honestly sucks.
Yeah, it was so, and I made the decision. Like, the older you get, you start meeting more people, and luckily, like I said, we grew up around people that have businesses, so you can like gauge everyone's like lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
So when I say lifestyle, it's like not like what they have, or it's like pretty much like how they like interact with their family, and if like they like if they're happy, if the people in their family are happy.
Right.
I mean, the family is more than it's your extended family. It's everybody. Sure. Like, so I found that like it's definitely not about the money. It's more about like how you balance everything, and making sure that like you take the proper time to like be with your family and the people that like care about you. So, that's a real difficult thing to do, because you got all that fire and you want to do. The bigger you get, the more you do, the more that's going to be asked of you from the people you're doing it.
Yeah, sure.
So, and I learned a lot of that from working with you, like, what you were doing down the city,
Sure.
like you wanted to like scale back, and then like, just like being around like certain things and understanding like, what you have to do to get to the next level.
Sure.
You could, anybody, why don't you hire somebody? Yeah. Look, there's plenty of capable people out there,
Right.
but the people that are really going to get stuff done, they're getting it done for themselves. I always found that like, you just, if you find a good guy or somebody that wants to be part of your team,
Yeah.
take care of them. But yeah, no, it's a tough balance, man.
It is a tough balance, and I think we're both at a point in our career. You're trying because as our families are getting older, your kids are 8 and 9.
Yeah.
You know, you got sports and
Oh, man.
everything. You don't want to miss that stuff. You know what I mean?
At all.
And my dad, you know, he was an entrepreneur. He's from originally the car business, but like, looking back, I'm like, he did everything he could to come to every game. I travel basketball. It was not easy for him. He ran his own shop. He had a ton of guys working for him, and he did whatever he had to do. Like, he very rarely missed anything that I did. And it's funny, as a kid, you remember that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, you remember your dad not being at your first birthday party.
Yeah. Yeah, like,
Where is that guy?
where's he at? No, I mean, that's extremely important, is to be present, you know?
Yeah.
There is like guys like, excuse me, like yourself, who didn't go to school and that are entrepreneurial, are ahead of the game. Are in my like I feel like you're ahead of you're that many years ahead of your peers. Nikki started working, you know, my dad, well, we always worked together, but like it takes me 2 years or 3 years to like realize like shit that he did 3 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I find myself in that position now, and I'm like, oh, that's why he did that. Like, it was just yesterday, like buying we were doing a job, and like people, we used to see like 2x4s and shit, like all that stuff, and it's like, and that works, but like when you're moving fast, you got to just keep moving. Yeah, I don't care. Buy the fucking $600 worth of lumber, because I need it there right the fuck now, because there's $4,000 worth of labor coming. So you're like, I guess that $600 doesn't matter when you're doing a fucking $580,000 job. I mean, it matters, but it doesn't matter as much as it did when you were doing a $10,000 job.
What you're talking about is a really, really good point. When you're scaling your business and you're trying to manage costs, let's talk about costs, right?
Okay.
In a business. Wait,
hold on. I want to go back to that one thing. With
okay,
kids.
yeah, go ahead.
Just the
go
one
ahead,
thing.
go
I
ahead.
want to just say the one.
Oh, we're definitely going to talk a lot more about your family, but go ahead.
Yeah. No, the one thing that we were talking about earlier about
when we were kids,
being present
with
your kids. I'd say every single older guy says to you,
oh, you said this to me,
and it means a lot. Like, they're like, if I had to do it all over again, I'd spend more time with my kids.
That rings in your ear
every single time.
Yeah.
I'm talking from guys that are, you know, millionaires, to guys who, you know, have regular jobs that just maybe did spend too much time on themselves. But every single person said, I wish I could do it over again and spend more time with my kids. So I'm not going to be that guy.
Right.
I'm not going to wish that happened. I'm just going to do it.
Yeah. No, it really is. I something I struggle with all the time. You know, as an entrepreneur, most entrepreneurs, they don't actually have, people ask, like, how many hours a week you work? I'm like, I don't count how many hours a week I work. You honestly, every hour, okay, every hour.
24.
You're never done. Like, it doesn't stop. You're on all the time. So like, that's a dumb question, right?
Yeah, it is.
But it's managing your family life is a huge part, because again, that's usually also your big driver, right? Like, I want to be successful, I want to make money, I want to be able to provide for my family.
That's the
right
thing.
So this is where it's like that work-life balance. How do you make the money, but yet you go to every baseball game, and like, there's ways.
It's really it's really hard to pick and choose what you think is important for your family.
Exactly. And there's ways to do it, but honestly, it's also, I think the word is, you need to customize it to what works for you and your family.
Absolutely.
Nobody can just say to you, hey, here's how you should do that. You got to figure out how it works for you.
Yeah, and the biggest part in business and in family is being present and aware.
Right.
So like, you know, if you have a business and you don't know what's going on, you're gonna fail. If you have a family and you're gonna like just be like a surface person and not like ask questions and not be present, then you're not gonna have a good outcome.
Yeah.
It's just it.
Yeah.
Be there, be present, and you know, I mean, I think the most important thing as like a dad and like a man is like, after you're like 25, like, and you're just saying, well, after you're married and you decide like that's what you want to do, you don't count anymore.
No.
That's not your role.
No.
Your role is to provide. Like, okay, you had your fun. It's over. Like, yeah, you can like, do a couple things for yourself. You want to buy yourself a car. You want to, treat yourself with something. But like your job's there to run the family and provide.
Yeah.
And when people, put themselves first, like I want to do, like it ain't about you. It's not. And that's like kind of that same thing in business. It ain't about you. It's about what whoever someone's expecting you to do for them. Now, if you agree to that, then you're agreeing to go on their timeline, and they're like, you're always being like kind of submissive to everyone else.
Yeah.
Like, you want to. I think the most successful businesses are like that. If you think that you're like, head honcho and you want to be the boss, you want to be the guy. I mean, that takes a lot of energy.
Yeah, no, it does.
That takes a lot of energy to fight every day.
It does.
It's really just not,
if you try to run your business solely on ego, it usually doesn't end well.
No.
But yeah, I mean, finding work-life balance and all that stuff. It's like I don't know if anybody ever has the answer for that. To be honest with you, right? It's just
there's no answer.
There's no answer for it. I what I have come to terms with was like it's. Because I think about it daily, honestly. Because I don't want to, you know what I mean? Like like you said, present. Like that word is big in my life right now. Mm-hmm. Present, be present. Like when I'm, like if I'm sitting here with you and my phone's ringing, unless I knew it was emergent, like I'm not answering my phone.
No.
I want to be present with what you're saying to me right now. But when I'm answer that phone, I want to hear what they have to say. Yeah. Same thing with your family. So it's like, hey, like if we're going to hang out, I'm going to go to the game. Like go to the game.
Go to the game.
Go to the game.
Yeah.
Go to the game. It's okay, the concrete came. If they weren't formed, it's okay. I lost $2,000. But and I guarantee you gotta
be okay with that.
You gotta be okay with it sometimes.
And you gotta know who to be present for.
Right, exactly.
A lot of people want your time.
That's true, man.
A lot of people want your time.
That's true.
And it's not a matter of like people don't deserve your time. It's just a matter of like
no, you gotta prioritize though.
What you wanted. What's your goal? What's your goal out of your time?
Yeah.
I mean, my number one goal is my kids. So that's but I have a responsibility to everyone else because, I took the role as the boss of the company, and that's what I'm there to do. So I had to keep that in mind.
Well, sure, and that's a whole other part of it. When you have people working under you, you feel responsible. Well, you're paying these guys every week. I don't care
what anyone says. These guys are showing up for you every day.
Yeah.
Like, they have the same thing that you. They have families and they have feelings and they have everything that they have ambitions and goals in life. Like for them to show up for you every day, show up. I mean, like I'm gonna try my best to make sure it's worth your while to be here. I don't want to hold anyone back.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just. That's a whole nother thing is just employees aren't just, they're part of your extended family.
I mean, that's what they're there for, right? They're there to help you, they're there to help you grow and conduct business, right? To make you money. It's the whole point. So I think sometimes people lose the whole basis of like starting a business, growing a team, having the team. The work at hand matters. You have to have your systems in place. But again, it is like you're kind of building a little family.
Yeah.
And just like as a kid relies on their mom and dad to provide, these guys, and girls are relying on you, right, to provide. You have to take that responsibility pretty serious.
And it's weird because it's like it doesn't become about like everybody wants to make money. It's not always about the money, even though like you do have something in your head where I'm not going to do that because it's not worth my time because I'm not going to make enough money. But it's also working with like-minded people. Like now at this age, like I'm not working. Like if I don't really like you, like you're allowed not to like people. Like I just not gonna really I'm not gonna spend my time with you.
There's nothing wrong with that, bro.
Like, and I want my I want to work for people that have like the same goal, which is just like be a good person. To be honest, treat people how you would want to be treated.
Yep.
Treat me that way.
Yep.
Because if not, I'm just not gonna, not gonna work for you.
No, you got to choose. Everybody you surround yourself with, you have to choose wisely.
Yeah, it's
you really do.
But that I'd say, I got a head start in that. I got a huge head start from my dad, And I was very, very fortunate that there's plenty of other people that like, I did have a head start in this business. So I don't want to like say that I didn't, but it's just what you do with that information.
Yeah,
You know?
but you also you helped transition it though.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's,
You
I
know,
mean,
like it's one thing for someone to walk into a company and just take the easy slot, but at the end of the day, I think I remember when I started my business, I dealt with this a lot. I was oh well, because your dad helped you. I'm like,
yeah, I
you
mean,
guys have
that's,
no effing clue. He helped me,
I
and
mean,
yeah, he did help me, just not in the way you think he did.
yeah,
He
exactly.
helped
Well,
me in a better way. You just don't know. It's not the way
that's,
you think that it was.
and that's the thing. Like, I already know because my dad came from a business. He goes, everybody's going to say, you got this, you got that because of this and because of that. He goes, it's all bullshit. Don't even listen. Don't even think about it.
Yeah,
Don't even think about it. You start
Right.
thinking about that, you'll drive yourself crazy.
yeah.
Because
You
just
feel like
get
you
up.
always have something to prove.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's like,
Make
and I
their
did, and I
decisions
did
that
feel
way.
that way coming out of school. That was one thing. Coming out of Drexel, like, I graduated. Like, I'm going into Wawa. It's like 98 degrees. I got, my hair. I got concrete all over my face and my hair. Like, I look, I just been out of war. And then like, I'm like, people are like thinking that I'm thinking people are looking at me like who's this ass? I'm like, I graduated from Drexel. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like, I got over that quick. I got over that quick. I mean, the second you realize that like nobody's opinion matters.
No.
Like, in
It's hard to do though.
yeah, it is.
It's hard to
My
do.
dad was real good at it.
Some
So
people are,
he
but
taught
it's,
me.
it's hard to do because
My dad was really good at it.
natural. Human instinct is they're like, no, like correct.
Yeah, I don't. I'm over that.
Yeah.
The second you like get over that stuff and like just it's all about knowing what's important.
Yeah.
That's not important.
It's not important.
The guy at Wawa who you're never going to see again, who
Yeah.
might think you're who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares about that guy?
Yeah.
Just keep going. And that was the get up, do what you got to do every single day, and then everyone. I mean, like you're gonna, like people are gonna see that.
Yeah.
And that was like, doing jobs with you, and then like, and I built a couple houses and like did some stuff like. I mean, I people like just found out about it, and we actually got like more work from doing those things because people will like trust you that they see that you're capable of doing it. So it wasn't even like I think we spent. We haven't advertised in 12 years.
I was gonna ask you that, like, and I had
12
to
years.
your answer. I was like,
I think we still might be in the phone book. I don't know, but
you want to call me? Look me up in the yellow pages. I mean, it's funny though because the greatest form of marketing will always be a referral, right? Like you see, hey, Tommy said use Anthony. I'm gonna use Anthony, right? Like that really is the best way. At the end of the day,
that's how I'm picking. I'm
Me
not picking
too,
from
bro.
Angie's list.
Doesn't
sorry.
everybody look at reviews now before they buy anything? That's
Yeah.
technically someone is referring. Hey,
Well, another thing we were lucky being in our stand, we pretty much knew everyone who did everything.
it's true.
And even though we were stuck,
You knew their mom, you knew their
Right.
dad, you knew the uncle.
but like
Yeah.
we knew 7 plumbers, 16 electricians,
Yeah. Where these guys at now?
150 concrete guys, and that's just we were. I didn't know that there was like other people didn't know that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
My father-in-law,
blue-collar
mother-in-law, they don't, they didn't know anyone in the trades.
family. Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, I called, somebody out of the phone book. I'm like, what? Why did you call me? I'll get whatchamacall up there, like, so, that was one benefit.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It's true.
so,
So doing business with your dad, and I know like your dad and you were tight and working together every day. I know eventually, your dad passed. And I know that had an impact on you greatly. Can you just speak to that a little bit of the transition of having him there every day and transition to like, now it's on me.
yeah. It was like funny because like my dad always wanted to like he always wanted to build a house, like because like my grandpa was involved in it, and my dad just never got the opportunity to. So I bought Boyer Boulevard, which is like pretty much like the street over from where our shop is, and it had a lane that backed up to where our yard was, and I subdivided it and like got plans, and my dad was pumped. Like we built the house, and that was like I got settled in September. My son was born then. I had just built an office on top of our like stuff down the yard. I'm probably gonna get emotional here, but
I mean, that's not the intent, but it's cool.
well, yeah, no, my dad just like grabbed me and he was like, all right. I was like, yo, what do we? This is our year. This is our year. Like we got it all in place. Like we're gonna kill it. And then that's when he had knee surgery and then had a heart attack like in the rehab and passed. That was on a Saturday morning. The day before, I was in there. I was like, Dad, we did everything with the backhoe. My dad and my uncle were like, we'll drive in your backyard with
Dude,
a
I've seen your
backhoe.
dad on a backhoe, like, and I'm not gonna get real talk, but I have to say, like, your dad was one of the best
Oh, yeah,
people
when
I
I
ever
worked with Ronnie.
seen when I was working with
I mean,
Ronnie.
he was like,
doing
it was
the
like an
student line, I was
extension
like,
of his hands.
yo, like, this is insane.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no.
And it was like,
yeah.
And we would keep your yard nice. You didn't
Yeah.
have a
No,
backhoe.
dude, I will never forget that, man. I talk about that still sometimes.
So I wanted to buy this excavator. My dad, he just got like the guy's in rehab. His like knees hurt. I'm like, think we should buy the fucking thing, would you? I'm like, all right. So next day he passed away. That Monday we dug an addition with that excavator. We still have it. So it was just I don't want to say it was like seamless because like my dad already like had me running everything,
Right.
but there was like it was like okay, well now it was just
void, though. That's a huge void.
oh, the void never goes away. It was like it was definitely like scary, knowing like you're the guy. Like, this is it now. But I just think that like I feel like he like never really like left me. The void is not,
Of course.
not seeing him every day, but like just like his constant words and like just being with him all the time. Like I felt like I was like ready to do it.
Yeah, of course.
And I
yeah.
knew you battle on like what you would think, what he would think would be the right thing on how to handle things. I think that was like one of the toughest things, as to like, what would my dad like say to this, or like how would he think? Would he think I reacted right to what I just did? And that came with like everything from like dealing with employees to dealing with like family members, everything. So, I mean, it was just I feel like he prepped me for that day from the time I was with him. Like it's just about being a man, taking responsibility.
Yeah.
And
I read a post. It's funny. I don't really read much unless I have to really know you.
right.
Right. But like, and you don't really post anything. But I was actually looking at it today. You posted something on your dad's birthday, and you mentioned the older I get, the more I realize how right you were about everything.
Every day.
Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Isn't it funny though?
Fight him
Right.
like to no end.
I mean, how many times do you hear people say that? Like, my parents
All
were
the
so
time.
right, and I didn't. Now I know, I didn't then.
It's funny because I think that's a sign of a great parent, because it's like if your kids, finally realize that, then you actually raise them to be like you.
It's true. It's true. They want you to be you, but like there's certain principles.
Because you wouldn't agree with that
Yeah.
if you weren't like that.
Yeah.
And there's people that probably thought my dad was nuts or didn't agree, but they instill that stuff in you. So the older you get, you like, it didn't go, like the parenting wasn't a waste of time. The lessons weren't a waste of time. Like whatever
Well, they
happens.
just they take time.
They take time.
They take time to like,
take time.
you know what I
It's
mean?
crazy. It's like, that's like that's like a daily thing for me. Like I'm like, you were right. I say, there was like a time where I was just like, where I was realizing all at once, and I'm just like, just apologizing to him, like, sorry, I broke your balls about that, even though you knew exactly what you were talking about. I don't know how he had the patience for me. I was like, there's something wrong with me. I'm like, and he just like put up with me.
Yeah.
But that's like, that takes a lot. You have to, you gotta have, if you have, he was my mentor. He was my main man. So like, you gotta
So
just,
fortunate.
yeah.
Like, no matter how much money you make in your
Nah.
like what you just said right there is massive, because that Money can come and go.
Yeah, man.
That, what you just said, that's forever, man.
Yeah.
That's forever.
It is. So like, there was zero regret on anything that we ever did together. So
You're lucky. I not a lot of ever. I mean,
No,
I got to
I mean,
work
I
with
know,
my
like,
dad,
I-
and I.
You had
I'm
the same
like-
thing?
I did. Like,
Dad.
and I talk about it with you, and I can relate to you
Yep.
because I had very similar experience. But you know, not everybody gets.
I know
that.
they don't, and I know plenty of guys who, like, the key to success. Like, well, when I say success, I feel like that word's like
It's used
not
loosely.
Yeah, I don't like that word.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You know, I'm saying a key to what you think is a good like a good business or whatever. Like, because success isn't about like that. Success is all of the things combined and like your overall like feeling towards life. In my opinion, like that's what it is. Like, it's not
beyond
like
money, man.
successful business. Well, yeah, it's a successful business, but you know, his home life is a mess.
Yeah.
So you're not really successful.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Let's come up with a new term.
Yeah, let's come up with a new term.
Financially
So,
successful.
but yeah, exactly. But so it's just about getting up and going to work every day. Getting up and going to work every day, doing what you say you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Keep going. Keep going. Don't let people get in the way. Just pick something though and run with it.
Yeah.
You know, your visions and your goals can change. It's all right. Like, you don't.
They're supposed to.
Yeah. Like, they're going to.
Yeah.
On a
Whether
daily
you want,
basis.
Yeah, whether you want to or not, right? Yeah, it's fun.
You just gotta learn. You just gotta be able to pivot, man.
Yeah. Well, that's huge. in
Like,
business. If you want to be an entrepreneur, I hope you
You gotta be
pivot
ready.
well.
You gotta
Yeah.
be ready to get
Right.
your ass kicked.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Yeah. Because tomorrow you're gonna get your ass kicked again.
And then like at 9:30 you're gonna get your ass kicked, and at 2:30 you're gonna get your ass kicked. You might have a little glimpse of hope at 4. Then you're gonna get your ass
You're gonna have
kicked
to
again.
fit in one good ass kick in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
before
You're
the
gonna
day's
get
out. Yeah. That's
There's
true, man.
never I'm like saying all these quotes tonight, but one guy told me, he goes, "Yo, Ant, enjoy the good times when you have them, because the bad times are inevitable." So I'm like, damn, that hit
Whoa.
me pretty hard.
That's kind of deep.
Yeah. So
It's true. It's true.
you just gotta take every day and challenge as a challenge.
Yeah,
You know?
for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes you're tired though.
Well, I mean, to spin off of that though, I think it's important as a business owner. I read something the other day, and I don't know if it's true. There's a book I'm reading, and he said 90% of your happiness in life is based upon the spouse you choose. I don't know where that stat came from. Like, I don't know how they did that survey. It's probably you at the Market Street asking, "Are you happy with your wife?" but like, I don't know where it came from. But I read that, and whether it's true or not, I'm like, that's true for me. Because if you want to be married to an entrepreneur, it takes a special somebody, right?
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
100%. So, I mean, let's talk about your better half for a second, because it's really important as an entrepreneur. Like, there's someone in the background. I call it the glue. Like, my wife, she's the glue, right? Because I am a loose handle. I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
I know you are. Let's talk about Sammy for a second. You met her in Drexel.
Yeah. But so she grew up like, with like white collar, didn't really know, anyone in our industry. And so like when we met, she thought a lot of things I said were like, she was like, "What?" Like she like,
You're from like a different planet
yeah,
to her.
she's like,
probably.
what
Yeah.
what are you talking about? That's not like that. Yeah, it is. There was a lot of that. I used words like wrong. She's like, that's not how you use that word. Like, she would like challenge me, and I would fly off the handle. I'm like, everyone I know talks like that. She's like, well, then everyone you know is stupid. so like that, like, I don't know, like that was like our young relationship. We met. She was a freshman. I was a sophomore, and we got together like that summer, and like she was just like I didn't know if I wanted to be in a relationship. I was only 20 years old,
Yeah, well,
but we had like,
if you're in college, right? Like,
Yeah,
not
we had-
everybody's looking to do that.
yeah, we had like so much like fun together. Like, she's like, I always thought she was like.
Did you
funny.
become friendly?
We were
first,
friends
right?
first.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like we met like we started dating this like basically the summer going into her sophomore year.
Okay.
So we had like mutual friends. We'd see each other out and just always had a good time. And then started dating. And then I would go home every weekend. Excuse me. I would go out Friday night maybe. I'd leave and go split wood down at John's shop every Saturday morning. Me and like my friends. And then Saturday night, like we would go out in the Norristown area.
Sure.
So like she's like, "Can I come?" I'm like, "Nah." So like it was like our first go around.
Was it because you didn't want to expose her to?
Nah, I just no. I just wanted to be with my friends. Like it wasn't even about like other like I just I was like, at that age everything's like fun and fresh and young and like just wanted to like go around with the guy friends.
Yeah.
Like, so I was with her 4 days a week at school, 5 days a week. So I turned 21. I didn't let her come down to the shore. There was like 14 guys, and it was like I was like 21, and I'm like it was like 2 months later, and I was like, I don't think we can. I think she was like she was in the hospital and I broke up with her.
What the hell is happening?
Yeah. It was bad. She cursed me out like you wouldn't believe. I was like, all right, well, see you later. Then she we never we still hung out and I lived at Drexel 2 more years. We kind of still hung out. She had another boyfriend. Not hung out.
So wait, together, then you guys
we
broke up.
Broke up.
She's in the hospital. Anthony calls her, breaks up with her.
Yeah.
Got it. All right.
So
now she's dating another guy.
Yeah, she's dating another guy. And then I graduated. I'm trying to think if she came to my graduation party. We never lost touch.
Why the hell should you? She should have never came to your graduation party.
Right? We never I stalked her on Facebook and MySpace. What she up to?
MySpace.
Or MySpace.
Right? Like when I was in high school. There was a thing.
My dad would always say, "You're gonna end up with her." I'm like, well, what are you talking about?
I don't need to say the same thing about my wife to me. Isn't that funny?
I was like, I don't need to
They know
talk
everything.
to her. He's like, "You're gonna end up with her," and it was I was 20. She had a couple of boyfriends, and
They had to be boring compared to you.
Huh?
They had to be so boring compared to you.
And then I asked her to go to a wedding with me, and she went, and I was like, she well, kind of wanted to get back together then, and I was like, I'm not ready. She's like, okay, and she just didn't talk to me for multiple weeks. And then I was out one night, and I saw her with she had some guy friends that she from high school that she was with, and I remember being like, oh man, I got to get back with this girl. So I knew once we would get back together, that would be it.
You think that's why you were hesitant at first at such a young age, because you maybe knew that it was this was going to turn into something fast, and I don't know if I could I don't.
Yeah,
Well, you knew there was something there that if
well, she was too good of a I'd never honestly I didn't have pretty much many girlfriends. I just to me it was if you're with someone, what's the end goal here?
Yeah, marriage usually.
Right?
Yeah.
So what are you doing? You're gonna waste somebody's time?
Yeah. Right.
So I already wasted her time in school, and I just I don't know, I wasn't ready. And then I remember waking up one day and being all right, I'm ready. And luckily,
so how old were you when you got
27? I was 27. She was 26.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I was 27. Yeah.
Okay.
And then within the first night we got back together, I took her out. Well, we went out. Her friend was actually with her.
Okay.
She thought I was just asking her to go out to dinner. Okay. So I was like, look, I really need to go out with you tonight. So I told her, I was like, listen, I think we should get back together. And then after that, that was it. My friends from I was hanging out with a lot of younger guys, and still my friends. But you know how you get older, you start hanging out with a couple years younger than you.
Sure.
They never met her. They never even knew her. So I come back I'm like, yeah. I was like, bring my girlfriend to like, girlfriend. Who are you talking about? Now, all my friends that I grew up with, they all know her. But these young guys, like, we never even met her, never even talked to me. And then, like, that was like within, like, we were just like full fledged, like, we were engaged the next year and then married the following year, kids the following year. So it was just meant to be.
It was meant to be. It
Yeah.
flowed. Yeah, you guys are a dynamic couple. And, same also, she's an entrepreneur herself.
Yeah.
She's got her thing going on. And anyone who follows her already knows you because she captures you at your finest moments.
I don't even know what's going on half the time. My kids are like numb to it too. They don't even know.
It doesn't even matter.
But it's all fun.
She does it so well that you would almost think she's paid to do it. Like seriously, she really knows how to capture your finest moments.
Yeah.
But the best part is how you truly don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like whatever.
What am I gonna do? Who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah.
That's right. That's
If
right.
you care that much, then you must not have shit going on.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know?
That's true.
Say a prayer for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. So you guys, you got together quick. You had kids.
Yeah.
Sammy, she always been like supportive of you as like an entrepreneur. Guys, like I'm working all the time, like answering the phone.
So she knew.
Where's my yellow notepad?
Right. So like honestly, she kind of tricked me, because she was selling houses like crazy down the city.
I don't know, Sam. She had a license.
She had a license.
Oh,
like,
maybe they did that. I forget.
I was like, man, she's making some money too. Like this is great. So she ended up like basically moving into my parents' house with me.
Okay.
She bought her own. Oh, that was another thing. That was like leading up to this. Like I watched how like successful she was. I'm like, she's doing great. That's not why I like, but it was like attractive to me for her to do that. She had her own beautiful spot down the city, decorated it gorgeous. Like it was great. So we get back together. She ends up just like moving in my mom and dad's house with me. Doesn't even go down her place anymore. And I'm like, you got any showings to do, or you got somewhere to be, or like I'm getting up and going to work every day. And she's just like hanging out at the house. I was like, well, why don't you go like sell a house or something? No, but she started like, it was like, it became like a lot for her to like go, how, I mean, like I didn't realize that the showings and the realtor, like driving in and out of the city, she just wanted to be with me.
Yeah.
She just wanted to be around me, and no, I wanted to be around her. So that kind of like, she did that for a little, and then she did like a couple things. Like, I don't know if you remember, she was doing like the shoes for like babies, like making like Beat It shoes. They're like baby Louboutins. She actually like got on like E! News, and like she was doing this stuff like, and it was just like for fun.
Yeah.
What really set it off is when we built my house, I guess 8 years ago.
Okay.
God, I got in a little over my head.
You tend to when you build your own house.
I was like,
especially when you know what you're doing, it actually is hard.
and it's I guess I don't know if I should even be like talking about this stuff, but like she had literally just gotten surgery. And that's another thing. Like I was like, until I had my own medical problems, I didn't realize how serious problems were. She had a lot of different problems that she pretty much just like handled and like beat on her own. I really probably should have supported her more. I just didn't really. I was like numb to the whole like medical, like you're sick, you'll be fine. That's how I didn't know like, people actually worry until like, maybe some stuff happened to me and I was worried. But anyway, she had just gotten out of surgery, and I was like, you need to go start a business. I said, you got to figure something out. I was like, I ain't doing this on my own here. I was like, these kids are going to school. They're going to be going to school. I was like, I need your help. And within 2 months, like this is like why she's like has like stitches, and like she started her own LLC and just started doing design work for people, and it just took off like crazy. And she was working like it's another thing. She's smarter than me. Like she just like picks up like faster than me. She can like she's like naturally like knows what to do. Like she's not good on the back end as far as like being organized with like paperwork or business, but she knows what people want and what people will pay her for. And she knows her value.
It's a big part of business.
Which is like, so like you know, and I supported her because she always like, yeah, she definitely always supported me. Back to what you're saying, like she just like knew like, you know, I was she, she just had my back. Like I didn't
Yeah.
really, it wasn't even like a question.
Yeah.
She understood like everything I was doing was for our benefit. But anyway, so once she started that, like she started working and doing all that, and then you know how it is, like dealing with customers. She became like a second me in the house.
Mm.
And I was like, look, I was like, you don't have to do this. Like, it was giving her like anxiety and stuff. So she kind of like is doing like pretty much like a low expectation stress level with people. Like, you know, you're doing someone's new construction house.
Yeah.
You're doing a renovation for someone. You know, this is what we do. We talk about, expectations, and she never had to have to do that. Like, we
Sure.
were like bred into it.
Okay.
You know, like right, like you were bred into doing stuff for people and performing and having that expectation. Like she didn't have to do that. Like we did. So like I felt like that was like overwhelming for her. Not that she couldn't. I was like, you don't need to do that. You don't need to figure that out. Like I'd rather not have. I'd rather go without something and have you be here present in the
Yeah.
mind with me and not both be stressed out. We
It's
don't
not
need
good. It's not good for a
we don't need
household.
that.
Yeah.
I don't care how much. I mean, she was making great money. Like
Yeah.
so. Yeah, we're like that. Just stop. So she figured something else out. She just like
Yeah, yeah, she's
just
definitely
moved.
she's an entrepreneur. She's got the eye for it. She's got the mentality for it. She's got the skin for it. Um, and you're also very supportive of her, which is important. You know,
Yeah.
you're supportive of all of her ventures and
There was a lot of things like when we moved into that Boyer Boulevard house, the old one, not the one I built.
your first house.
My first house, like she helped me. Like I was like, you're crazy. That's not gonna look good. And she's like, it's gonna look
Trust me.
fine.
Yeah.
And like that happened with like a lot.
Did she go to school for design?
She went to school for fashion design.
Okay, fashion. All right. Well, but still, it's like the creative
Yeah.
eye.
She was just always
Yeah.
like she just had that in her. And yeah, like everything. And that turned into like doing things like just everything she said actually like I was like, oh, that worked. That worked. That worked. So I was like, I'm just gonna let her run with it. Like I'm not gonna she excuse me, like I tried standing my ground and fighting and she just wore me down. Like you win.
Well, she's tough too.
Yeah,
so.
you win. Just
Yeah.
enough. I gotta go to work.
Yeah.
All right, pick the pink bed sheets out. I really don't give a shit. I got concrete to pour. You know what I mean? Like I give up. It's not. You got to pick your battles, right?
Pick your battles. For sure, you need to pick your battles.
I think I really like. I mean, like, what's it gonna affect? The things that she's doing that makes her happy, like making things look nice or crazy or whatever. How does that really? Is there a negative impact on it? No.
Yeah.
So who cares?
No, that's what. Who cares?
Yeah. Whatever.
So yeah, where you are now, where your company, your business, your life, where do you see yourself going? Do you think about that? Is that something you think about, or you're like, I can't think that far ahead, or do
Well, here's what I think. I think right where I would love to be in life, and if I could just like pause, like press pause forever, I would just stay, like I would probably stay there, you know. But you know, it ain't gonna work out that way. So
that's special though, man. That's really cool.
Yeah,
'Cause everybody's
yeah,
like, oh, if I could just get through this,
Nah,
if I
I'm
could just
good.
get through this. You're saying
I'm
I
good.
like to hit
I'm
pause,
good, man.
and
good.
this is great. Like,
I'm good. I know a lot of people who struggle with a lot of different things, and like I'm just beyond fortunate that like I'm good right now. You know, I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I'm just going to try my hardest to keep what I have, and however I have to do that, you know, without like, you know, killing myself physically and mentally. So that's more of my end game, is like figuring out how to get to the finish line and stay this way. You know, you can't run, 100 miles an hour through the finish line the whole time. So it's like, how do you sustain? Like, so it's like finding your pace. Find your pace. Find a pace that you're comfortable with every day. I think that's like when you find that you're happy and you're successful, take a step back, see what you really want. Like I don't like, I don't really like want a shore house. Like I don't I just like to eat. I like to eat. I always think of when I go to Italy, I go to Tuscany and just lay there, eat, and drink wine. That's the stuff that goes through my head. That's what excites me. So like I don't. It doesn't take much for me to
You're an
get excited.
experienced guy, not
Yeah,
material guy.
I mean,
It's-
even like I love being like home. Like I love like now I like love watching the Phillies. Like
yeah, me too.
you know, it's like I love it.
Yeah.
I love like
Yeah.
we watched the Phillies last night. The four of us.
We were there, me and Marisa.
Yeah.
Dugout, dude. It was the best time ever.
Great.
Yeah.
I just want to watch. I
And
just
it's-
want to do
I-
stuff like that.
It's experiences. You like
Yeah,
experiences.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. So I'm
they're
more.
invaluable.
Yeah, they are the times like look back on stuff like it's just so it's but it's finding that pace. Like I don't want to run out.
That's really good advice, Dan,
Yeah.
actually, because I think especially in the world of fast-paced social media, everybody's trying to compete with each other.
Nah.
You know, and you get caught up in that. It's easy to do, honestly. It really is. But like, if you can have that mental clarity of like,
Yeah,
wait, do I really even want that?
Yeah. I mean, there's Sundays. I feel like Sundays I started at least 3,000 businesses on a Sunday. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
I the text message on Sundays to like other guys. I mean, yeah, I'm still with the family. It's like, yo, what do you think we do this?
Yeah.
Like, oh, that was the one thing that like 3 years ago I put away all the things that like, I had like for 20 years I wanted to do 9 million other things and still do what I'm doing. And I realized that I can my time would be best to just concentrate on what I'm doing and what I'm good at and what like would kind of bring me like the less stress. When you get involved in something new, yeah, there's new stresses, but you have to do those things to like, make more. If your goal is like I need to make more money, I need to do stuff. Well, you need to put yourself under stress. It ain't gonna happen without that.
I want to grow muscles, and you got to work out, right?
You gotta work out.
You got to go under stress.
Right.
It really is
So
a big thing.
yeah, so like that's where I mean I forget what the hell I was saying with that.
Well, you're talking about your pace. You're being okay.
Oh yeah,
with,
the
like,
pace.
Like where you are and being okay with that, because you truly are okay with that. And if you were to maybe, again, like I'm speaking for other people that you see, and I think I'm guilty of this too. You feel the need to continue to, I got to do more. I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do this.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I just started a new business last week. I'm talking about all this and I'm
Doesn't
like,
surprise me.
but I did it because I have a great guy that I think is going to be great fit to do it with, and we're like he was with the company for 20 years. The company got bought out by like a national company, and it just wasn't fit for him. And we were talking. I had this idea, and I'm like, I just can't. Like, there's no way I can do it. Like, I got too much stuff going on. So I was like, yeah, what do you think? You think you would want to try it, do it? He's like, yeah.
Yeah, not yeah.
Yeah, nah, no, yeah. So we're going to basically start a utility locating company, a private utility.
Plug it, bro. What's it going to be? Go for it.
Yeah, private utility locating company. It's going to be called All County Locators. There's no like local presence in that market. Owned by like GPRS is a national company, maybe even international. They bought out like master locators. If you want to like find what's going on the property that's that PA1 call's not going to mark, you need to get it privately located. Well, I mean, GPRS's prices are just going up like 15% every 3 months. So I was like, who do you, I don't even know you guys. Like, I can't even like I have to use you because you're the only ones. And
So you saw an opportunity.
yeah, so I was like, I need to get involved in this, and it's helpful. It's basically like, I guess it's like horizontal horizontal vertigration, not vertical. Like it touches on what we're doing. I mean,
Yeah, you're not. You didn't tell me. You didn't just say to me, "I'm going to open a bar."
Right? Yeah.
So it's pretty much you know all about that.
Yeah,
already,
exactly. So
know?
it's not like I'm like I just like starting a new venture within the business.
Yeah.
Call it that.
Yeah.
So, but I'm excited for it, and I want to make it this time around. Make it more like not a hands-off thing, but like I put other people, like make other people Like if they work hard, then they're gonna like succeed more.
So
So like
it's
yeah,
an incentive for
it's
them.
an incentive. Like I wanted to
It's a good model. I mean,
yeah, like
it can make
I
it work.
want like you work hard, you're gonna
Yeah.
make money. Here's an opportunity that we can all make a couple bucks on.
Yeah.
Like I'm not trying to, but it's funny because it's like, how do you do everything I just said? Like with business, start another business. I guess it's starting it with that goal. Like I feel like this, like Cosimo Riccioli and Sons is like my foundation,
Sure.
and like I mean I still gotta act and be who I am and like how I started with that. Like I'm
Yep.
never Cosmo Riccioli and Sons and how we do things and our
There's gonna be a
reputation.
fifth
It's just
generation.
never. I told them guys about passive income the other day. I was like, you don't get that where I go. To find somewhere you're gonna get paid when you're sleeping.
Yeah.
Not when you're out in 90-degree weather. Dad, why's your face all red and your back and your neck and your chest is it? Well, because it was 95 today and I had a t-shirt on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so but yeah, no, like that'll never like my core, like who I am. Like,
Yeah, but you might.
is
But you're getting smarter though. Do you know what I mean? Like you don't realize it's such a smart move. A lot of business owners like, I want more attention. The first thought is because you are a go getter, and I do this too. My first, I'll just do it. I'll do it, right?
yeah, I'm
But
not
like,
going to
then the burnout is there. Like
burnout.
so are you want to expand? All right. Well, how else could you do it without leveraging yourself? You're gonna have to leverage other people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
And sometimes that means like, okay, maybe I'm making the whole pie, but that's okay because I got this going on, and I got, like you said, I got a good guy to
Yep.
run this.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Like who's around you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Trust.
It's
You
huge.
got to trust. I
It's
mean,
huge.
yeah, getting your circle of guys, and I mean I've known this guy since we we're like 9, 10 years old.
Yeah, so there's a trust factor.
100%.
I talk about all the time. When people work for me, like I was friendly or knew them before they worked for me. Because there's something there you can't teach. You can't teach that. You might be able to teach them how to finish concrete, but you can't teach them to be loyal. Can't teach them to, can't trust. That's just you are or you're not.
Yeah.
It's important, man. It's important. So you believe in the person helping you. I think it's cool. I think it's a great idea.
I'm
Not to
excited.
mention you can use it for yourself.
Yeah.
For you,
Well, that was
because you
big.
need it all the time.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Yeah. Congratulations on that, man.
Yeah,
I love
thanks.
that. I love it.
Thanks.
And I want to ask you. I'll ask you one last question. I'm curious on your take after everything you said. If there was a young guy or girl came to you today, and they're like, I want to start a concrete company. I want to work for myself. What would be your advice in today's world? You came from like your dad, learning from them. They don't have that. They don't have the dad, the uncle. They want to do your line of work. They want to be in construction. What do you think, like, are the couple things you would say to them that would serve them best?
I think about this sometimes because, like, I mean, I'd say go get a job first. Go get a job first and get a job with one of the best in the industry and see how it's done. Because if you're the best, I mean, if you're good at what you do, like, I don't know, like some people might look at people as like threats, like, geez, that guy was with me and then now he's over there, non-compete. But like, you're around, you got to learn somehow.
Yeah.
How else are you going to learn? Either you go with the best, learn from the best so that you could be the best, or maybe you just stay with that person and you become part of their business. Because like, if you're, I mean, if any of my guys or anyone came to me and was like, I want to start my own business, like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that especially in our industry, there's not enough guys.
No.
Like, and I would say,
No.
you gotta understand the ground up. You don't understand. Like I started, cleaning tools. Like you gotta understand. Not saying you gotta like do that for years.
Yeah, but you're talking about patience because it's important. A lot of people just want to fast forward.
Nah, it's not gonna happen.
And
It's not. And if it does happen, like
you can't bake experience in unless you're doing it with someone else, like a partnership or something.
I feel that the real guys, the real players in the industry, all stick together. And then like when you're around someone that like knows the things there's like a huge level of trust. So if you become trusted by everyone in the industry, you're just becoming part of the industry. You know what I'm saying? Like, like, like there's so much stuff and things that go on, and people need help all the time because they're shorthanded and there's so much work out there. You become part of that industry. You can become part of that work, and you're just one of the guys or girls. Whatever. I think that's important is to just be part of someone who is there for a long time, because you're not going to learn what they know. You're not going to learn on your own. You're not gonna figure it out. You're not.
And I
You're
mean,
talking hundreds of years worth of experience.
that's what I'm saying, right? You might eventually figure it.
See,
it out, but
that's fine. You're gonna waste your time.
Sometimes be very painful.
You're gonna waste your time.
Yeah.
And like it's not like I'll do it myself and learn the best way. There's nothing wrong with like asking. Like you gotta like just be around people. Just like be around the industry, and you're gonna learn.
Yeah.
And then take some chances. Do some jobs, like do some stuff like that. And if you got a passion for it, then just run with it.
Absolutely, man. I think it's great advice. It's great advice.
And that's in my industry, because my industry is a craft, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So like if you don't respect or know the craft, then you're not really going to be like then you just might as well just like go sell what everyone say widgets,
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like you're gonna like don't. Like, you're not really a real concrete contractor unless you know how to finish concrete.
Sure.
So yeah, I would say just be around the industry, and you'll figure out like if you like it or not.
I like what you said there. You said go find the best one you can, though, right?
Who you think
not
is
just
the
like,
best.
hey, there's like 10. I want to work at that company.
You
though.
want to work for the best,
right? Like and maybe not because they're the biggest, maybe because for other reasons. But like to you, like that's the best one. Like, and that's important.
It is
that you said that, because now you can model. Like I really wanted to build houses bad. I didn't know anybody.
Right.
I didn't know anybody. I watched you build your first house on New Hope, though.
Well,
I was like,
no
that's a nice house. I was like, I wish I built that house.
It was nice, right?
Yeah, it was a great house. But like I had an opportunity for someone else that let me go. It wasn't the way I wanted, but I'm like, yeah, but this is the best path. Like go work with someone they're a huge development group, like compared to what I could have even thought. Right? I went, 100%. Did it, learned a lot, had my own take on it, and it's really good advice, man.
Yeah, and honestly, like sometimes I think that maybe I maybe could have done that because of those years of trying to figure out the transition, doing that. Like, maybe I should have co-opted and did, worked for some like bigger concrete guys, and just maybe brought some of that information back, because we kind of were going at it blindly. Like we knew what to do. It's like how to like have a whole business. I mean, like, yeah, we had a small family business, but like, we kind of have like, it's a lot bigger now as far as volume. Like we'll probably do 10, 15 times the work we did, 20 years ago. So, but it took a while to get it all like, okay, this is how we're going to do it.
Yeah, well, that's why I asked you the question, because you have the experience, you've been through it, right? So can you save someone else some heartache that's trying to start their own, I guess, whatever company?
Any company, just like there's so many. When you're like, I feel like everyone is like, anyone who's like successful, and here goes that word again. We're coming up with a new word next week for that. Yeah, like just being part of the industry. Anyone who has a good business is willing to, like, I'd say like 90% of the people are willing to help you. Like when I did start doing stamped concrete, I was calling guys that like we were like bidding jobs against. I'm like, hey, can you like help me? I think I need to do this. I'm looking at jobs, and they're like, yeah, I need stamped concrete. I went to like, seminars, but there's nothing like hands-on.
Oh my God.
I mean, like, come with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, and then just like, you just gotta like be like ready to learn. I mean, I was like pumped up for that. Like, just going on stamp jobs and learning, and you gotta learn.
That's long-term thinking. You have to watch that because a lot of people don't think long-term, and sometimes, all right, so you're foregoing some of your profit because you're gonna give a big piece to this guy to help you who knows what they're doing. But now you learned something. Now you can repeat.
Oh yeah,
it's huge. That's
everything.
That's a hack right there. You know what I mean? Everybody, I can't give him the 10 grand. Like,
well,
you feel it. You should consider it.
First thing The first thing I did that was out of like our wheelhouse was blacktop. We're doing these jobs, right? And like it was like 2 foot of blacktop we had to patch. And I was like, you gotta call what's his face, and I'm like, they're not showing up, or this, and I'm like, we gotta figure this out ourselves. You know what I mean? Like we can do this. So Eddie actually, like, he did it, and he's like, I'll show you. And he showed me, and that was it. Like, now I don't have to rely on the next guy. Now we're gonna get done the job 30 times faster because we just learned how to blacktop ourselves. And then it's like, oh, you guys did that? Do that pothole over there. 1,200 here, 800 there. I don't got to give what's his face $2,000 to patch it. I just made $3,000.
Yeah.
Now I'm up $5,000.
Yeah, that's long term thinking. It really is.
And
because you ask for help.
And we're not a specialty contractor. We're not a wall guy. We're not. People are like, oh, what type of concrete do you do?
You're a custom concrete contractor, is what you are. You're a custom contractor, really, because even for me, the work you've done for me, none of it was basic scope stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think anything was.
I don't like basic scope, and
Yeah.
it's just that because I just like to be like, I want to be like challenged.
Yeah.
I want to like think.
Yeah.
I'm not just like putting men somewhere, throwing the form up. Like, we're doing like cool. I don't know. It's not like super cool stuff, but like,
Yeah.
it's cool in my head. I like it.
Sure. Sure.
So.
And
yeah,
I feel like it's funny. I've known you a long time, but I learned so much about you. And it's inspiring, honestly. It's cool because I know we have a lot in common. But this was really it was a good opportunity.
I feel like I talk too much.
No,
Sorry.
Honestly, man, I learned so much about you. And I also admire you. I think you're a wonderful guy. Everybody who knows Anthony knows that. But it's also, I consider you somebody that I can call and bounce ideas off of, and you do the same, with me, and I appreciate you very much, brother.
Oh yeah, man. Same here.
And thank you for taking the time. You could have been home with your kids tonight, and
They're using their new bat tonight. I wonder if they got any heads.
Oh, you missed the game to come here. No, we just talked about this.
It's all right. I played with them outside for the last 2 nights, so we're good.
All right, cool.
No,
All right.
There's a lot of games.
There's a lot of games. Well, and thank you so much for coming, man. If anybody was like, I know you're not like all over social media, and we just talked about your marketing. I don't do marketing, but if somebody wanted to try to get a hold of you, what would be the best way? Is there a website? Is there social media? Or is like just go to Sam's page and she'll let me know?
Call you and you can give.
So, there you go. All right, call me in. I'll connect you.
Yeah.
Right.
Do the screening for me, Mike.
All right, buddy. All right, you got it. And thanks again, man.
Yeah, man.
Awesome, buddy.
Thanks.
Thanks, buddy. There you go.